said some things that were very interesting as to housing construction, and he wants to see houses go up. He wants to see a lot of houses created, a lot of apartments built, etc. And we actually people would be shocked, but I want to see the same thing.
That's also why the president has called for building more homes everywhere. Back in October, this headline came out: Trump calls on Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to get big home builders going. You see, whichever party politically comes up with a way to build houses, to make rent more affordable, to make it easier for young people to achieve the American dream is going to win in the future. That's a fact. Look at Mamdani. That's proof. But if we talk about affordability, got to remind you of this. The country didn't become astronomically expensive for everyone until Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the new Socialist Democrat Party ushered in an unprecedented era of inflation. That is their legacy. 25% cumulative inflation in their 4 years in office, when it should only have been 8%. If you go by the standard of 2% per year that the Fed targets, it was a disaster. And I got to repeat this. It was a disaster. Inflation under the Democrats' watch was a complete and total disaster. Rampant inflation like that will mess a country up big time. And now it has. And that's why everyone is talking about affordability. President Trump talked about inflation constantly while on the campaign trail and also in his debate against Kamala Harris.
Look, we've had a terrible economy because inflation which is really known as a country buster. It breaks up countries. We have inflation like very few people have ever seen before, probably the worst in our nation's history.
And now nearly a quarter of all households are estimated to live paycheck to paycheck in our country. Credit card debt, it is at all-time highs. You can look that up. Under Joe Biden, rents rose 21.6%. And according to the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, from 2020 to 25, the average price of a home rose in our country 38.22%. And I got to ask all of you, who out there, in order to keep up with rents going up 21% and home prices going up 38%, got that kind of a pay raise at work? I doubt many. But what the whole inflation disaster led us to now is this. A socialist, or as President Trump says, a communist, made his way into the Oval Office today because Mamdani seized on the crisis of affordability. That's the new mayor of New York. It's really a historic day, and he thinks more government is actually the answer.
We will prove that there is no problem too large for government to solve and no concern too small for it to care about.
Thank you, Democrats. You got us here. And I will say, though, I am glad we have President Trump in office right now, because could you imagine if it were Kamala Harris? What do you think Mamdani would do with New York City then?
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.